everyone, welcome back to another video and back to the no buy seat. Is it just me or is this year going really quickly? How are we on the 4th month already? I don't understand. I'm here to bring you my April spending update with regards to my adaptable rules that I set last month. So if we just remind ourselves of last month's rules, it was very simple, and it was because I knew I was going on holiday at the start of April, I knew there would be a lot of expense in travel, everything else had to be low. Or zero. Mainly zero. But where there was spending, if it took place, everything else had to be low. I think when I said that, I forgot hobbies were a thing. So there's been a bit of spending in travel, there's been a bit of spending in hobbies, but all in all, other than that, everything else is low. It has been a really successful month and I am really pleased with that. In terms of spend overall, it's quite high because travel took place. I went on holiday, so don't expect it to be a big zero at the bottom. That's not gonna happen. But keeping control of everything else has gone really well. So let's go down the list as we always do. Fast food and takeaway, it still makes me giggle, but that's the top of my list. Fast food and takeaway was zero, but not really. Because this is me, I had Mackey's when I was on holiday once, but all of the eating out I did whilst I was on holiday came out of the spending money that I got. I did a currency exchange, and so I've just put all of that in travel rather than trying to work out with an exchange rate as well what money was spent on food, what money was spent on this, what money was spent on that. I've just taken all the euro that I took out to France and Monaco with me and treated that as one lump sum in travel. So any spending I did on holiday is all just in travel to make my life a bit easier. So that means whilst being back home, fast food takeaway, zero. Media, zero. Horse riding, I had 2 horse riding lessons this month, and so that was £61. Beauty appointments, none, and don't I know it. The only beauty appointments I ever have now are trims on my hair, which I've not had this month. In fact, I haven't had since either January or February, I can't remember. And then my nails done at most once per month. But I didn't get them done this month just because I said I'd be good and that was one of the ways I could be good. So yeah, my nails are absolutely grim right now, but we don't need to talk about that. Clothes, none. That's 2 months in a row of no spending on any clothes. Likewise, accessories, 2 months in a row, no clothes, no accessories, so that's great. Eating out, I love this one. $5.99. I just grabbed a small bite with a group of friends. It wasn't a big meal, it wasn't anything like that. It was literally just a small bite, meet up with some old work people. When I say old work people, I mean the people I worked with at my former job, my previous job. So old work people, so $5.99. So in terms of keeping it low, we did very well. Experiences, none. Travel, I will come back to. Hobbies, I've kept separate. I've now got separate things for horse riding and shooting. So hobbies there refers to anything outside of those things. Because my 2 main hobbies are shooting and horse riding, it made more sense to pinpoint those separately and see what my spending was. So anything else hobbies, whether that be my painting, if I needed any more supplies or anything like that, that's really it for my hobbies, to be fair. Any other hobbies will go there, but that is zero. Side hustles, zero, but I know there's gonna be an expense in May because I have been working on some little designs. Other beauty, that's things like makeup, skincare, etc. That is zero. I think we all agreed last time, or at least some of us did. Thank you for those of you that commented about this, by the way, that my prescription that I am having to sort out my skin, we don't need to count under other beauty because it's a medical thing. And you know, I've spent years and years wasting money on products to try and clear my skin and nothing has worked. And actually now we're getting somewhere. In fact, someone at work came to me the other day and they were kind of like in one of those, I don't know if I should say anything in case you get offended, but it is actually a compliment I want to pay you sort of way. You know, like when someone tells you you've lost weight, but they don't know if they should tell you because that was insinuating that before you needed to lose weight. It was kind of the same thing, but someone came to me and was like on the quiet, like whisper. And they were like, I just wanted to tell you your skin is looking amazing, but I don't want you to think that meant it was bad before. And it was like one of those conversations. And I was honestly like, Oh my God. Since I started getting acne at 9, I don't think anyone in my life has ever told me my skin is amazing. And I was just sort of stood there like, oh my God. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I was so happy, and it might seem like such a simple compliment to most people, but when you've had skin the state of mine for basically 2 decades, having literally no one has ever told me my skin looked amazing before. And granted, it's not perfect. I still haven't shifted this cluster down here. But yeah, I didn't know what to say. I ran back to I quickly walked back to my office and I picked up my phone, and the first thing I did was texted my mum. I was like, someone's just told me my skin looks amazing and I honestly feel like I could cry. Yeah, big moment for me. We're not anywhere perfect, but it feels like we've made such good progress. I'm so much happier. But I digress, I always do. We have, I think, agreed that that doesn't have to be an expense. It is more of what we're calling part of my essentials. So nothing on other beauty. Gifts was just a little one this month. That was £20. They were both just contributions. They were both in a situation where, you know, where you kind of like get together to get someone a gift. So one of them was one of my friends at work. So as a team, we collectively got her a gift. So I contributed just £10 to that one. And then one was, I guess I could say, a distant family member. So it was my sister's fiance's dad's 80th birthday, and they were very nice. They invited us, they invited me, my mum and dad, even my grandparents on my mum's side, which is quite a distance in terms of a relation. And I don't know them awfully well. I've probably met them 3 times ever. But I just wanted to contribute a little bit, so I actually went in with my mum and dad on the present they got, and I just put £10 into that one as well, and I thought that was okay. I know it wasn't overly generous, but I'm trying to be good with my spending, so I just wanted to contribute in a small way. So that was that. Then we've got shooting, which was a much bigger expense than I was expecting this month, but it was an expense I knew was going to happen because, as I've already mentioned, I'm on my journey now to trying to get my shotgun certificate so I can be a shotgun owner, and there are a lot of fiddly bits that come with that. The last I think I updated you on was that I had gone through MedCert to get access to my medical records. I can't remember how much I spoke about that. That was either last month's expenses or the month before. Either way, that's all gone through now. My GP took the 4 weeks that they were allowed to take. There's a maximum they have to provide your information within 4 weeks, and they took that 4 weeks. Then MedCert say they can take up to a further 8 weeks, and they didn't even take 2. So everything started moving way quicker than I anticipated. I didn't think I would be at the stage I'm at now until sort of the 1st or 2nd week of June. So that meant I was able to do my application to my local police force, which to apply for the certificate cost £79.50. So that was already an expense. And then I also have to be ready to be interviewed by the police, which means I have to have my security in place. So I've also ordered my gun cabinet. So that was an additional expense, as well as going to another ladies shooting event. That was £68. That was at the Grimsthorpe Shooting Estate, which was a beautiful countryside ground. It was absolutely stunning. It was a gorgeous morning, which, you know, makes a change. Raining again today. And it was lovely because a couple of the ladies that I saw on the last shoot, they were there, and so we hung out and we had a bit of a chat, and it was really, really nice. I have actually booked onto another one, but not until June, so actually I won't have one to go to in May. I'll be going to one in June. But that was a great experience. I shot terribly, to be perfectly honest. I was not on my game. I went from being the best lady gun in the Austin shoot I went to, I think, to 2nd worst in my group this time. But it's lovely because the ladies aren't competitive. Like, without being too stereotypical, when I've shot with guys before, they are so competitive. And granted, as ladies, we all want to do well, and it's nice to be the best, but if you miss, there's no one there telling you, like, oh, why did you miss that one? That was stupid that you missed that one. Which, you know, when you shoot with guys, that there can be a little bit of that, like, why did you miss that? You shouldn't have missed that. And if you make a stupid mistake when you're out with the girls. No one cares. You just laugh it off and have a good time. So the shoots have been really, really good. I've been really enjoying them. So that was another expense. So my total for shooting was £264.69 this month, which was a lot, but it wasn't my highest expense. My highest expense was travel. Just to remind you, I had paid for my flights and insurance prior to this trip, but what I still had to pay for was my hotels, trains, because we did a few train journeys whilst we were there, and then any money I wanted for spending, whether that be food or anything else. So bear in mind, this was 2 hotels, each for 2 nights, so 4 nights, all my food and spending money and all my trains, and that came to £423.41, which all in all wasn't too bad. And I actually think the hotels we stayed in were quite nice. Like, we didn't go extreme budget, like we don't go budget and we don't go high end. We like to enjoy the experience, but on a reasonable sort of expense. So we find like a nice middle ground. And that was it. That was everything I spent in April. So all in all, I think we did okay. It is a total of £775.09 for the entire month, which is our second most expensive month of the year so far. So now we've got to think, looking forward, what are our goals for May? I want to give myself hobbies again in terms of riding and shooting. That's absolutely fine. If I say up to 2 horse riding lessons in the month, that's fine. As I've already said, I'm not going on a shoot in May, so I won't have any expenses regarding that. However, I am looking at having a little bit of extra security put into my house with regards to where I want to store my shotgun cabinet. I won't go into too much detail about that because you have to be very careful about sort of advertising the sort of security you've got in terms of that sort of thing. So I won't say too much about it, but there is extra levels of security I want to put in place, and part of that I'm going to do myself with my dad, but part of that I'm thinking I'm going to get someone in to do also. So there will be an expense there. I'm not entirely certain yet what that will be, but it is likely that will be in May. But as I've said, no shooting. So it should be sort of okay-ish in the shooting expense. There is only one other area that I can anticipate some expense, but that could be this month, it could be next month, it could be the month after, and that is getting ready for my trip I'm going to be taking in the summer. There are some, let's just say, outfit pieces that I would like to start at least looking for, not necessarily buying straight away, but at least looking for that trip. I know there are going to be expenses for clothing for that trip in particular, but again, that remains to be seen. We'll see how we go. So I'm not completely ruling out clothing or even accessories in May, but it might be, it might not. We will just see. Everything else, I want to say, should be as low as it possibly can be. As we know, I'm all about enjoying life. So, you know, if I do go out for dinner once, that's not the end of the world. Let's keep it realistic on the spend. If I want to have my nails done, again, that's fine. I've gone a month without having them done, so maybe I will, maybe I won't. I'm not saying I definitely will. I'm not saying I'm restricting myself entirely, but that should be the only appointment, and I don't think I'll need anything like skincare or makeup. Oh, there is another one. Side hustles. If all goes according to plan with what I'm doing with my side hustles at the moment, I will be ordering a few prototype products just to check everything's okay. So there might be a bit of spend there. But I would love it if this could be one of my lower months. But as I say, we'll see how we go. It depends how quickly things move with the shooting stuff. It depends if I see anything that would suit this trip I'm going on. There's a lot of sort of grey area for May, but no sort of obvious fixed upcoming expenses. So that's quite nice. Let's hope for a low month in May. As always, let me know how you're going with yours. Some of you said that you're doing the old school no-buy method. Some of you said you're doing this similar sort of adaptable method with me. So if you are doing the adaptable way, then let me know what your targets are for May moving forwards. and let's wrap this one up. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, remember to give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel if you're not already by clicking this button here. And if you're sticking around to watch another one, I will pop one on the screen that I think you might enjoy. Until next time, take care. Bye.